Raider Nation, man. First of all, I'm gonna do this all in one take. There's no need to edit anything. I'm gonna just talk straight through one take, Drake, whatever. Because I don't have time to spend. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this video. I just want to get my piece out there and just let you guys know how I feel about this game because it was definitely an embarrassing game today. I was actually at the game today. I went to go to the home opener. Obviously, this whole weekend we had a lot of things planned up. Was really, really excited about this team. Really excited, especially coming off of last week's win in Baltimore. Going into this week's game against a favorable matchup like the Carolina Panthers. Now, I know I didn't want to take them lightly because these are the type of games that the Raiders always seem to just disappear in. And obviously, we found out today that we're the same old Raiders, the team that just gets our hopes up every single week, every single year, just to shoot us down. And I feel like I constantly make videos like this on a yearly basis. There's always that one game that just pisses me off, and especially the rest of the Raider Nation, that just pisses us all out because you see the type of energy that this team, you see the type of time that a lot of these fans take out of their day, out of their weeks or whatnot to go and support this team no matter what. All the ups and all the downs. A lot of people put out videos just like this. A lot of other content creators do their thing as well, talking about the Raiders, trying to give the Raider Nation some type of hope going into that week's matchup. And this week's matchup against the Carolina Panthers, I know was on paper looked like an easy matchup. Of course, we can't take any team lightly. And one thing that really worried me about this week, I kind of talked about it on my podcast, was the fact that Bryce Young got benched and they put in Andy Dalton as a starter. Now, history repeats itself because every single time there's something that comes out in the media, that comes out in the news the week of the Raider game, then that means that it's not going to be a good week for the Raiders because we always seem to lose these type of matchups. Obviously, that Jeff Saturday, when he got hired for the Colts, they whooped our ass. Baker Mayfield went to LA, became the starter 2-3 days in, whooped our ass. And it just constantly keeps going. Obviously, Andy Dalton, with his track record against the Raiders, he's undefeated. Now, of course, I think 5-0 in his whole career, beating the Raiders on a daily basis. It's nothing new to him, man. But for us Raider fans and for us, the Raider Nation, man, it just pisses me off because, there was a lot of hope going into this game. There was a lot of hope going into the season. Now, I'm not going to say that the season is entirely over, but there's going to be a lot of questions moving forward, especially with this guy right here, Antonio Pierce. We go into this game head up high, thinking that it's going to be an easy one, and we lose to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers that could barely score anything, could barely get any first downs. They were 0-2 coming into this game. We were 1-1 coming into this game, riding off of a high, like I said, against Baltimore Ravens. And we just get our asses whooped in our home, in our home at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. We get our asses whooped. We get manhandled from the beginning. From the start of the game, you could already tell that the Panthers was just driving down the field like it was easy. We made Andy Dalton looked like Tom Brady. Heck, even Peyton Manning out there, the way he was, just driving down the field. The first drive, I was just kind of, oh shit, I'm kind of worried about it. They drove down the field easily scored on us. And they just kept their foot on the gas pedal. I barely even seen their punter out there. Andy Dalton had a day today against us, and he continues that streak against the Raiders. He went 26 for 37, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's the only quarterback this season to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. At that point, I was like, man, why the hell did he have to play against us? My boy came out there with a fresh fade, ready to play the Raiders, and this dude just dog walked us. This dude just slapped our asses around all over Allegiant Stadium, man, and we had no answer for it. That's the thing that's really frustrating, is that the Raiders had no answer for Andy Dalton in their offense. This is a team that's lost to almost every single team in the NFL every single week. They only won one game last year. And then going into the season, it looked like they were going to win only 1 or 2, 3 games this season. And it seems like the Raiders are one of those teams that they just go out there and handle. Now, Andy Dalton being him, I can't be mad at the Panthers. I can't be mad at Andy Dalton and them just giving their fan base some type of hope. But the way the Raiders played today, the way they executed the play calling, the coaching, the offense, the offensive line, the defensive line, everybody on this team, this whole organization is an embarrassment to the Raider Nation, to the fans that come out and support them. And to me, this is one of the reasons why it's so tough to keep up with this team and talk about this team. And that's why you guys see me on, social media, just having a good time. Most of the time, I don't take none of this thing seriously because, I'm just another fan that just loves the Raiders. But, when we get our heart broken over and over and over again, it's just a toxic relationship at the end of the day. And like I said, Andy Dalton doing his thing. The Panthers, they did their thing, offensively, defensively. Now let's talk about our team. Because that's where I was more frustrated was our team. Because one, I know a lot of people are going to go straight at Gardner Minshew, and Gardner Minshew didn't do his thing out there. I mean, he went over. I think he had over 200 yards, had a touchdown on the day, I believe. So let me see. Yeah, he had a touchdown and an interception at the end of the game that was just stupid. We had a little bit of momentum at the end of the game to kind of come back, but obviously that just got shot down. But Gardner Minshew didn't really do his thing. He held the ball too long, but it didn't help that once again, for the third week in a row, the offensive line is trash. Everybody on this offensive line, we have no type of protection. We have no type of, Gardner can't really have too much time in the pocket, but then Gardner can't just be holding onto the ball for long periods of time. I know he was trying to run around in the pocket, really couldn't get anything going, but this dude got sacked twice in this game, didn't really show out like he did in the last game, and I don't know what it is. This just questions like some of the moves this offseason. And I know a lot of people are going to give AP a little bit of slack because he's AP, but if this had been Josh McDaniels, I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of Raider fans going at his head. And AP has some blame to this loss as well. Going into the offseason, yes, I'm not going to hate on Gardner Minshew too much. Even AOC, I feel like whoever is going to go in there, whatever the decision is going to be moving forward with one or the other. I know there's a lot of Raider fans wanting Gardner Minshew, other fans wanting AOC, but at the end of the day, we still didn't address that quarterback position wholeheartedly. Number two, Brock Bowers, love the dude. I think is a great tight end, and he's going to be a great tight end for the future. But as far as this season, it really hurts to see that, we could have gotten an offensive line. It just hurts that we could have gotten an offensive lineman like Fuwanga to help this offensive line now, especially at the tackle position. I know Colton Miller's been hurt. Darren Mumford went down early in this game. JPJ is barely on the field. I mean, he hasn't even played for the Raiders yet. And everybody else, I don't know where everybody else is at. On top of that, they can't protect Gardner Minshew long enough, and they also can't even open up holes. And then you got Zamir White that can't even hit those holes. Zamir White only had 34 yards. And that's another frustrating thing is that we can't even get the run game going. And it's frustrating because AP has stated over and over and over again that he wants to establish the run. But why establish the run if we can't even run the ball? Like on first and second down, we getting stuff that, getting 1 yard, 2 yards. And then it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And then we started to pass the ball. There's no reason for us to be doing that when we should start slinging the rock. We found out real quickly last week against the Baltimore Ravens in the second half that the run game wasn't working, and we went away from the run game, and we started throwing the ball a lot more, and that's when the offense started grooving. Yet, we want to stick with the run game for a majority of this game, and we can't get shit going on. That's frustrating. Multiple times we went for a fourth down. I mean, not multiple times. I don't know how many times did we go because I can't remember on the top of my head. Shit, they don't even got it on here. But the Raiders went on. I'm gonna just find it. Let me find it. Like I said, I'm not editing it anything. I'm just gonna go straight to it. Yeah, we were 1 for 3 on fourth downs. Horrible. And the crazy thing is, the Raider fans were just tired with it. By halftime, Raider fans were already tired with this team. They were booing the whole team, especially when AJ Cole kept going out there and they're like, yo, what the fuck? It just didn't seem it seemed like we couldn't do anything. The offensive line, like I said, the running game wasn't going. Yes, we got 1 touchdown in the beginning of the game, but we weren't able to keep no drives alive. We seen AJ Cole out there multiple times. And this is one reason why AJ Cole is an all-pro Pro Bowler, because we get to see him. And for me, when AJ Cole goes out there, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. And the fact that AJ Cole is one of the best punters in the league is real bad for the Raiders. On top of that, the defense, I don't know what the hell's been going on, but the defense, I felt like they're still in Baltimore because they didn't show up today either. Our defensive line could get nothing going. They could barely get any pressure on Andy Dalton. He got sacked twice, but that didn't affect Andy Dalton at all. The run game, we were getting killed. Chuba Hubbard, I don't know how to say his name, 21 carries for 114 yards. This dude was flying all over the field. Not only that, Deontay Johnson was killing us. 8 receptions for 122 and a touchdown. Man, Our secondary was getting killed. Our defensive line couldn't get any kind of pressure. And our line, I don't know. Everybody just wasn't doing their jobs. And at the end of the day, the Raiders got to figure something out. Now, I know AP kind of came out after the game and stated something real bold, which, throwing subliminal messages out there. He said that as the game went on, there were some individuals who made business decisions. So we'll make business decisions going forward as well. I don't know. What the hell does that mean? And we'll see what that means in the next coming days. It's not a good sign for the Raiders. We also find out after the game that Max Crosby's dealing with a high ankle sprain. Okay. I wish nothing but the best for him, but Max Crosby, if he's able to be on the field, he's going to be on the field. Nate Hobbs came out and said that we weren't focused enough on our jobs. They strained harder than we did. They came out there with a purpose, and we went out there thinking that we were going to have the upper hand for no reason. Stupid statements. I don't get it. There is no reason why we should take any team lightly, especially a team like the Carolina Panthers. The secondary was getting burnt out there. Burnt toast, like I said. And Andy Dalton had time, and it just seemed like every time we were trying to hype up the team, on third downs, third and longs, I was like, oh, we're going to stop them now. We don't stop them at all. This team is just an embarrassment right now. Of course, I'm not going to call it quits on the season, but something's got to change. So, and also on top of that, play calling. I can't forget about that. Luke Getsy wasn't doing his shit out there as well. I don't know what's up with these dump plays on third and long. It just reminds me of like the old Raiders with fucking John Gruden and I forgot who our OC was at the time. But something's got to change, Raiders. It's just frustrating. Watching games like this is really, really frustrating. And we'll just see as time moves on how everything's going to pan out. But it's not a good sign right now. And I don't know who you guys would like to blame on this. What are your guys' thoughts on this game? I know I keep yapping, but like I said, I'm not editing this whole thing. I'm just going to drop it like it is. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Who is to blame? What is something that you're really worried about? Let me know down in the comments below because this was definitely frustrating to watch. With that being said, though, Raider Nation. Oh, one more thing before I move on. I know AOC came in at the end of the game, and he looked pretty solid out there. If it's his time, then let it be his time. I'm not going to go on either boat because I don't think either quarterback is, the greatest. But if AOC can go out there and give us some type of spark, then so be it. But we'll find out later on this week. I want to ask you guys, would you guys want AOC to go out there and start next week? Would it make any type of difference? Or is our problem on the offensive line? Well, I mean, everywhere is problems, But let me know your thoughts on this game, Raider Nation. I'm not going to keep yapping on about this whole thing, but with that being said, until the next video, of course, subscribe to the channel if you love Raider Nation content. Also, follow me on Simone Raider on all social media platforms. Until the next one, this is your boy Simone Raider and your boys. Yeah.